So here's a demo of uCommerce running on Umbraco as a service. What I've done prior to this demo is install uCommerce on one environment and then push it onto the live environment. So what we're going to do now is log into Umbraco as a service, open up the project, and I'm going to go into the back end of the development system and do a few changes in uCommerce and then push those changes over to the live environment once done via the integration pieces we've created for Umbraco as a service. So I'm logging in with my account here and firing up the back end. I created a little bit of Umbraco stuff in here and uCommerce. And so the trick for us is that our data is completely custom, sometimes linked to Umbraco, sometimes completely standalone. So what I'm going to show initially here is the ability to take a piece of custom data that Umbraco doesn't know about by default, then using Umbraco deploy to push it from dev to live. So I'm going to go down into our data here. So there are two pieces of data in play. First piece of data is the content, which is like a product or a content page. And then the second piece is structural data, which represents data types and in our case is definitions. So data that describes other data. And that's the demo here. We're going to create a new definition and a new data type in uCommerce, link them up and get them pushed over. So first I'm going to set up a new data type here inside uCommerce, and once that loads up, I am going to create that new data type. So I already have my other data type, so I'm going to call this my other data type. So pick something in here, create that. So my data type obviously is going to be used for a new definition field. So a definition, roughly like a document type, but for products instead. So I'm going to create it, call it something original like my definition. And I'm going to create another one called my parent definition, which the other one will inherit from, just so you can see how the relationships between the two. So I'm just going to let my definition inherit from my parent definition, save that up, and I'm going to create a new field on definition, call it something original like my field, and I'm going to use that data type I just used, my other data type. With that, the system is set up. So what's happened here as I've been clicking my save buttons is that we've activated behind the scenes Umbraco deploy and generated some files that go into the Git repository. With that done, we should be able to actually go back to the portal and see that the Umbraco as a service has committed this stuff to the development repository. So I'm going to go back, and this sometimes takes a little bit of time, so we'll see if it's done. So this is the waiting part. So we gotta wait a little bit, but basically this is what it would look like. It will give you a commit, and the commit would add a few bits and bobs of data. So I've tried this demo one time before, a couple of times before, and yeah, so we just need to wait and wait. Okay, so my changes are here, and we can open up and see the actual files that are committed. So we should have a couple. So one that represents the data type, one that represents one definition, and the other. So that's been added to the local Git repository, and I can now deploy to live, and we should see those very definitions show up. So we're just going to call this deploy to live, confirm it, and now we're pushing that custom data over from one environment to the other. What happens on the other end is that the same piece of software notices, Umbraco deploy notices the information, and it calls our integration pieces that it then enables us to update or create that information that was set up on the other environment. All right, deployment complete. So now we can go to the live environment and then see what's what. So we'll open up the back office of the live environment, log in with the account, and we'll see what it looks like. So we'll go to the settings of uCommerce. We'll find the definitions that were created. So first the data type. So my other data type created right there. There was a dependency between the data type and the definition, and so we should see that the definition is also arrived. My definition here should have a field, my field, and my parent definition, and those should be added. So the beauty of this system is that we're just piggybacking on the Umbraco infrastructure, and this also means that you can now take all this structural data and pull it into your local environment, just riding on the same deployment mechanisms that Umbraco as a service uses. So it makes everything seamless and nice to work with. So I think this is going to be a system you're really going to enjoy because basically it solves one of those big pain points of development.